তোমাকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছি অনেক দূরে। তুমি যাচ্ছ পাল্টি হিমাচলে, দরজাটাতে একটু ফাঁক করছে। আমি যাচ্ছি রাঙা ঘোড়ার পরে, টক গিয়ে তোমার পাশে পাশে। রাস্তা থেকে ঘোড়ার ঘুরে ঘুরে রাঙা ঘুরে মেয়ে উঠে আসে। সন্ধে হলো, সুচ্চি নামের পাখি এলেন যেন জোড়া মিষ্টির মাঠে, দুটো পারে যেদিক পারে যায়, কোনোখানে জনমানব নাই।
My father grew up learning at home with grandma and cousins. He did not go to school till he turned 8. I went to a neighborhood nursery school at 5. Admission then had been easy, and learning meant rhymes. But times have changed.
What is your name? Where do you stay? Can you recite a poem? Do you know your parents' name?
Today, I'm a mother in dilemma. My child of 3 must prepare for a preschool or a pre-primary school. Though I feel it is too early, the education system leaves me with little choice. I wonder why a child needs to go to a preschool.
To facilitate the child to live in a world other than her own family, and to slowly get ready for a culture that would be required in a school.
Children need to attend preschools to be able to interact with other children, to be able to interact with another adult who is not a parent. So learn an ability to be away from a parent for a short period of time, to develop confidence, to maybe have opportunities which living at a home the child may not get.
Preschools may open up a new world of learning. But what is the right age for a child to enter this setup?
What happens is, if you look at the programming of the brain, by 2 years, the brain cells that are extra have been pruned, the connections of the brain have been set up. The brain is intellectually right to get the inputs so that it programs itself for learning and everything. And so therefore, a child is mentally fine to get into a preschool at this age.
So by and large, 3+ or 3.5 gives the parents adequate time to spend with their child at home, bringing them up. So the culture and the family is totally ingrained at that age, because what you learn at that age is really, really important. And 2, also enough time for them to train them, you know, in the potty training and a little time to stay away from home. So ideally 3.5, but 3 is not bad.
I see children as young as 2 years in early childhood institutions. This is a likely situation in nuclear families, where both parents work.
So preschools definitely are to be looked at from another angle. They're to be looked at from an angle not of schooling, but spaces for community nurturance for children, because societal shifts are there.
Community spaces for nurturing toddlers are important for all sections of society. But do preschools have any other relevance?
I think the relevance really comes from the perspective of those children, specifically who have no home support in terms of academic support, getting their homework done, but largely, let's say, first generation learners. For them, a preschool will really be able to give them an environment of learning which would be missing at home. And therefore, they get a bit of a head start when they go into a primary school.
Sonamani, Rohit Singh, Lakshmi, cap utaro, topi utaro apni.
The need of preschool is much more for children from families having no educational background. With Right to Education Act or RTE, every 6 to 14-year-old child has claim to elementary education. This act will work better if early learning is accessible to all 3 to 5-year-olds.
मेरी क्लास में अभी बच्चे तो 62 बच्चे हैं, उसमें से मेरे ख्याल में 35 के करीब कभी स्कूल गए नहीं होंगे. अभी नए आए हैं वो लोग, तो उनके साथ प्रॉब्लम तो आती है शुरू में, उनको बैठना भी नहीं आता, क्लास क्या है उन्हें ये नहीं मालूम, खड़ा होना है, बैठना है, खाना कैसे है, पेंसिल कैसे पकड़नी है, कुछ भी नहीं आता. उनको मैं एज ए पेरेंट, एज ए टीचर सब कुछ काम करवाना पड़ता है.
That the child needs to have certain concepts, certain skills, certain habits which will make the child adjust better to the primary school, and those should be formed at the pre-primary stage, so that there has been enough evidence to show that children who come through pre-primary are able to stay better, retain better, are better, attend better and learn better also.
Preschool education then must be universalized. This prompts me to look into the existing early childhood setups. For further insight, I visit Anganwadi centers of Kerala.
Well, we are very lucky in India because in the last 40 years, since ICDS was started, we have somehow managed to create the vast infrastructure so that practically every child in this country can now be reached. The pace of expansion has tremendously increased after the Supreme Court came out with the right to food and said every child in the country must get a hot cooked meal.
The Anganwadi worker takes care of both education and nutrition of young children. I am told over the years the number of children attending these centers has declined. What is the reason for this low turnout?
The number of preschool children are decreasing nowadays, both in rural and urban projects. I think it's the attitude of the society. The parents they feel if they send their children to English medium school, they feel very proud. That's one reason. And the other is the infrastructure facilities. majority of the pre-primary schools are having good building, pakka building, and good facilities, well furnished and very attractive to children as well as parents. But most of the Anganwadi centers are not like this. In Kerala, I think it's only 55% of the Anganwadis have their own building. That's a major problem.
The Anganwadis must meet societal expectations to remain relevant. My curiosity takes me to Balwadis. These are NGO-managed community-based early childhood centers. Balwadis give learning opportunities to children from low-income families. But what about those children whose parents keep moving in search of work? Mobile creches offer learning and daycare facilities to the children of migrant workers. This 40-year-old organization negotiates with builders to set up balwadis at construction sites. Here, the children learn through the theme-based program Prakalp.
So there is nutritional supplements, there is cognitive stimulation, there is a health focus, there are medical cards for each child, there are medical checks conducted by the doctor every week or every 10 days. There is close growth monitoring for each child, progress monitoring for each child. There's a lot of love, nurturance, a feeling of belonging, a home away from home for each and every child that's provided here.
I find both government and NGOs are giving considerable financial support to early childhood care and education. But how do we ensure all the money is put to optimal use? Active participation of parents is one way. At Government TTI Manakod in Thiruvananthapuram, I see the Parent Teacher Association, or PTA, deeply involved in school management.
तो यहाँ की एक विशेषता है कि जो पेरेंट और अध्यापक यहाँ के प्रिंसिपल टीचिंग स्टाफ और पेरेंट सो एक साथ निर्णय लेते डिसीजन लेते हैं और वो डिसीजन का अमल में लाने की कोशिश भी करते हैं.
The PTA looks into the preschool infrastructure, teachers' training and health programs.
I think since there is the PTA, they always keep in mind it's the parents, so they always keep in mind that their child gets the best.
These Kerala Corporation schools are models of community-state partnership in universalizing early childhood education. But how does one make sure the learning is effective?
We need to look at preschool education in the context of the age of the children. What is it that children are about at that age? And then give them the opportunities to be able to develop, because development precedes learning. Development is a very key concept in early childhood education. And therefore, preschool education must focus on children's development, which means giving them as much opportunity as possible to express themselves rather than fulfill the demands of what the adults want them to do.
The learning process should be joyful. A trained teacher can guide the child without pressure or fear.
It has to come in a very natural way. You can't teach them. You continue doing, talking, sharing, they learn whatever they are expected to pick up, and as per each one's individual capacity. That is very important.
What is the child expected to learn? Speaking to practitioners, I come to know that there cannot be a prescribed program. The environment should give freedom to the child to question, to create, and to discover. Children learn as they play. And while playing, they learn to share, care, and understand life.
Then the activities are all skill based and activity based. So we promote various skills at this stage. Basically the manual skills, fine muscle coordination, the gross motor skills, which will help in future reading and writing also. And they're listening to instructions, learning to follow the instructions. Then language is also very important at this stage.
लाला जी ने केला खाया, एक खाया दो खाया, सारे केले खा गए वो, कौन खा गया?
At 3 years, children are able to express individual needs and feelings. With time, language helps them expand social relationships. Music is often used for language development. The repetition of words and concepts improves vocabulary and expression of the child.
The language for young children should just be the mother tongue. And in a context like Delhi, where children may, speak different languages, a conscious effort then to speak the regional language, which is be Hindi here if they understand, if they are interacting, but certainly the teachers will have to be conscious of the mother tongue.
The choice of right language makes learning quick and easy. Preschool is a step towards formal education. I'm eager to know the challenges preschoolers may face when they move to class 1.
But in class 1, there is the need to sit down at the chair and table, to be able to sit in structured periods, which was a timetable, where at the same time, even if there was a timetable, there has to be flexibility that, okay, if a little extra is needed, we as teachers in class 1 have to adjust. You know, so if the child is not able to do or able to do whatever, we need to, you know, juxtapose these things.
You are all going to be a bit of individual reading, turn by turn. Open the last lesson that we did, which is the last lesson, lesson 11.
Red hen.
Yes, correct.
Red hen and her 5 little chicks lived on a farm.
Louder.
Red hen asked
Class 1 environment is different, but sensitivity of teachers should be the same as in preschool. The 3 hours of learning, reading, writing and arithmetic, becomes simple with basics covered in preschool.
I said the duck, not I said the duck, then I will said red hen, and she cut the corn.
But if the curriculum of the pre-primary classes has not been designed properly and intelligently, and if the children aren't ready to get into a class which is actually really a little more formal than their pre-primary thing, it can be a daunting experience for children. Again, as Mauleshi said, if it is a continual thing and we are both aware of what is going to happen, I know what's going to happen next year, and the children are prepared for it, there shouldn't be a discord.
In Chennai Corporation schools, I find the move from preschool to class 1 almost seamless. Here, the primary classes follow the activity-based learning or the ABL system, while the pre-primary, the Montessori method.
And the Montessori system, in fact, there is no problem in coping with anything because they are equipped to work on their own. They are equipped to take the materials of their own interest and work on it at their own pace. And to a large extent, these are reflected in the way ABL has been constructed.
Now I realize preschool education is crucial for every child. An innovative early childhood program prepares them for formal schooling and beyond. It helps children happily blossom and instills in them a lifelong love for learning.